Why don't I love myself enough to walk away? That's where healing begins, not in anger, not in revenge, but in the moment you finally decide that losing him hurts less than losing yourself. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Love is not supposed to break you in half. It's meant to build you, to ground you, to make you more of who you are, not less. When a man stops loving you, the world doesn't end. It just asks you to begin again. But this time, for you. In the beginning, it will ache, that kind of ache that crawls into your chest at 3 a.m., when every memory feels heavier than air. You'll replay every conversation, every smile, every "I love you" that once felt eternal. You'll look for signs that maybe, just maybe, you misunderstood everything. But deep down, you already know. Love doesn't vanish overnight. It fades with every unkept promise, every ignored tear, every empty sorry that never changed anything. So don't numb the pain. Feel it. Because feeling is how you free yourself. Pain is proof that your heart still works, that it still knows what it deserves. The ache you feel now is the same force that will push you toward the life waiting on the other side of this heartbreak. There's something sacred about breaking. It exposes what's real. When everything falls apart, you start to see who you truly are beneath the expectations, beneath the fear of being alone. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you begin to rise. You start remembering the parts of you that existed before him. The laughter that wasn't tied to his presence. The dreams that didn't need his approval. The light that was always yours. You realize that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't your soulmate. He was your mirror. He showed you where you needed to heal, what wounds still whispered, "You're not enough." And by losing him, you found the chance to finally answer those whispers with truth, because you are enough. Even when he made you feel like you weren't. Even when he left without explanation. Even when your heart screamed for closure that never came. Closure isn't something he gives. It's something you decide. You close the door not when he apologizes, but when you finally stop waiting for him to. And that's when your power returns. Quietly, like sunrise after a long night. You stop checking your phone for his messages. You stop rehearsing what you'll say if he comes back. You stop seeking validation in the very place that wounded you. Instead, you look inward, and you find someone far more beautiful than the girl who loved him. You find the woman who learned to love herself despite him. Healing isn't about forgetting him, it's about remembering yourself. You start building small rituals of peace, morning walks where you breathe again, journaling the things you're grateful for, listening to songs that remind you of strength instead of sorrow. You start surrounding yourself with people who remind you what light feels like. You start smiling again, not for anyone, but because you finally can. And somewhere in that quiet journey, you realize that love doesn't end with heartbreak. It just changes form. The love you once gave to him returns home, to you. Because here's the lesson most never learn. When a man stops loving you, that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his capacity. Some hearts are not ready for the kind of love you offer. Some souls are too scared to meet someone who mirrors their own emptiness. So they run, they ghost, they withdraw. But that's not your fault, it's their limitation. Your task is not to convince anyone to love you, it's to love yourself so completely that losing them feels like returning to truth. And that's what self-respect really is. Not arrogance, not ego, but quiet recognition that you are a whole universe, not a half waiting to be completed. You don't need someone to see your worth. You only need to stop handing it to those who can't hold it. Yes, it will take time. Healing always does. There will be nights you still miss him, songs you still skip, places that still echo his name. But each time you choose peace over pain, you reclaim another piece of yourself. So breathe, Queen. This chapter doesn't define your story, it refines it. The woman who once begged for love will soon become the woman others look at and say, "She glows different." And that glow, it's not new love, it's self-love finally being seen. You are not the abandoned, you are the reborn, because the moment you stop chasing what's gone, you start walking toward what's meant for you. Peace, wholeness, and love that doesn't hurt to hold. There's a quiet moment after every heartbreak, a silence that almost feels foreign. You wake up and realize there's no message waiting, no voice on the other end asking where you are or what you're doing. At first, that silence feels unbearable, almost cruel. But as the days pass, that same silence becomes a kind of peace. The kind that doesn't demand, doesn't exhaust, doesn't break you. It's in that stillness where the rebirth begins, where you finally start hearing your own heart instead of chasing someone else's. Because endings, as painful as they are also beginnings wearing different clothes. The end of his love isn't the end of your story. It's the moment your story returns to your hands. You begin noticing the air again, how it feels lighter when you're not constantly explaining yourself. You notice how your laughter sounds when it isn't filtered through fear. You notice that the world hasn't collapsed. It's simply shifted to make space for you. At first, healing feels like dragging yourself through mud. Every step hurts. Every song reminds you of something you lost. But with each sunrise, the weight begins to lift. The ache softens. You start to understand that healing isn't about forgetting him. It's about remembering yourself. You remember how you loved before him, how you smiled before heartbreak, how you were whole before anyone ever held your heart. That's where true recovery starts, not in the absence of pain, but in the rediscovery of your power. You learn to rebuild piece by piece. You make your bed not for him, but for yourself, as a small act of claiming stability in a world that once felt chaotic. You drink water not because someone reminded you to, but because you deserve care. You begin journaling, taking long walks, rediscovering the hobbies you abandoned. Healing is never dramatic. It's slow, sacred, almost invisible to others. But one day, you'll notice it. How you no longer flinch at his name. How your chest doesn't tighten when you see couples laughing. How you can finally look at your reflection and think, I'm going to be okay. The truth is, heartbreak doesn't destroy you. It simply burns away the illusion that you needed someone else to be whole. You begin to see your past relationship for what it truly was. A chapter, not your entire story. He taught you something, even in leaving. Maybe he taught you how not to be loved. Maybe he taught you what you'll never settle for again. Maybe he taught you the most painful, powerful lesson of all, that you can lose love and still not lose yourself. And as you rise, you begin to glow differently. It's not the kind of glow that begs for attention. It's the kind that comes from quiet self-respect. People start to notice. They ask if you've changed something, your hair, your style, your energy. But what's changed isn't external, it's your alignment. You're no longer shrinking to fit anyone's comfort. You're no longer dimming your light just to be chosen. You've remembered that love isn't supposed to hurt, and peace isn't supposed to feel lonely. With time, you stop romanticizing the version of him you created in your head. You start seeing him clearly, not as the one who got away, but as the one who wasn't meant to stay. There's liberation in that, because when you finally stop idealizing what was, you create space for what could be. You start believing in love again, but this time through a wiser lens. You no longer crave intensity, you crave consistency. You no longer chase chemistry, you choose compatibility. You no longer fall for words, you wait for effort. That's what rebirth looks like. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of peace. You still remember him sometimes, but without that sharp edge of longing. You remember the laughter, the lessons, and then you let them go. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means being grateful that you survived, that you felt deeply, that you can still open your heart again one day without fear. You learn that love isn't what broke you, it's what will rebuild you. And in that realization, you find freedom. You start moving through life with gentleness, with gratitude. You forgive him, not because he deserves it, but because you deserve peace. You forgive yourself for staying too long, for hoping too hard, for trying to fix something that was never yours to fix. You understand that closure was never going to come from his words. It came from your choice to stop waiting for them. So here you stand, stronger, softer, wiser. You no longer look back wishing for what was. You look forward, ready for what will be. You walk differently now, not searching, but certain. Certain that the right love will never confuse you, never silence you, never make you feel invisible again. And that certainty is the quiet crown you wear into the next chapter. Because the truth is, every woman who has survived heartbreak carries a new kind of beauty. Not the fragile beauty of innocence, but the radiant beauty of resilience. You've seen the worst of love and still believe in it. You've been broken and still choose to open your heart. And that courage to love again after loss, is what makes you unstoppable. Healing teaches you something no fairy tale ever does, that love isn't always about finding someone else. Sometimes it's about finally finding yourself, the version of you that forgot her worth in the process of loving someone who couldn't see it. The version that gave endlessly, thinking that devotion could substitute for respect. The version that waited, begged, compromised, not because she was weak, but because she believed that love meant endurance. Now you know better. Love isn't meant to be endured, it's meant to be shared. And when you realize that, something inside you shifts, quietly but permanently. There's a moment after heartbreak when you start measuring your worth differently. You stop asking, "Why didn't he love me?" and start asking, "Why did I think his love determined my value?" It's a turning point, one that redefines everything. You realize that you are not defined by how deeply someone else can love you. You are defined by how fully you can love yourself in the aftermath. Self-worth isn't arrogance, it's the remembrance of truth.